chickens. The chickens are going to be moving out of here soon, but I just need another weekend to work on their chicken tractor. For now, though, it's time to get the ducks in here. So we are going to hang out with them and make sure that it all goes well. Let's just wipe that screen for a second. Bear with me, guys. There we go. Hey, buddy. So, yeah, we're just kind of hanging out with the chickens while we're going to slowly bring the ducks over and introduce them together. And I got to stick around to make sure that they all get along well. And, yeah, it's just a chicken hangout. So feel free to ask any questions or chat. Hello. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm just hanging out in the duck house, which has been co-opted by the chickens for now while I build them their own house. Hi, hun. So my wife is just getting their water situation sorted. The goats are coming to see what's going on. Robert says, what do the chickens and ducks do come winter? I'm going to build the chickens an insulated, heated duck house for the winter, or chicken coop, I should say. And the ducks, we've got a heat pad here, but the ducks are actually winter hardy. They do quite well in the winter. So it's more the chickens you got to watch for. So we got a heat pad, and then the chicken coop will be fully insulated for the winter. Good question, Robert.
Justin, can you get this one gap covered up?
Sure. Not right this second, but sure.
Yeah, I just made it for tonight.
The lost one says, I love chickens. They're growing on me. You know, this log cabin I built was actually for our ducks. So the chickens aren't going to live here long term, but it's a good stopgap measure until the chicken house is ready for them. The lost one, I'm with you. Tasty and cute. Georgia, how you doing? Robert says, do you harvest duck eggs or are for eggs only?
Yep,
Do you harvest? Sorry, I
layers.
totally misread that. Do you harvest the ducks or are they for eggs only? They're for both. So both, what ends up happening is when you raise ducks and chickens, you don't want too many males. The male ducks are called drakes, the male chickens are called roosters. You really only want to keep about one rooster or one drake for 10 females. And so any surplus you want to butcher for meat. But all the females are for eggs. These chickens are specifically bred for eggs. So they're not the best quality meat, but they're meant for eggs. Samich says, grab the camera for a Lamar edit, please. How you doing, friend? So yeah, it's just an army of chickens right now. We're adding some ducks. We're also hatching another 41 ducks right now. But don't worry, these guys are coming out of here very soon. And then they're almost at the age.
Justin, make sure that they can get to the food and water.
Okay, ducks.
And really watch them.
Okay, guys. Okay. Yeah, we're introducing the ducks to the chickens. I'm going to kind of play bodyguard for a second just until the rest of the ducks are in here so they can kind of group up. Just to make sure everyone stays happy and safe. I don't want these guys picking on those guys. What is Order 66, friend? And Robert says, thanks, man. Really enjoy the channel. I jump on whenever I see you live. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate that.
Here come more duckies.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And we've got... I added a chat filter there just to screen out anything obscene. So let's just see. We've got We can show that one. It's not necessarily appropriate or inappropriate. Mr. Pumpkin, how you doing? Trap says, nice move. So, there we go. And Tommy, welcome back, Tommy. How you doing, friend? Penn State is looking for a shout out. How you doing, Penn State? I hope you're doing well. Tommy, of course I remember you. My wife needs me to get the door. Can I get the door? There we go. Come on in, ducks. So there's actually two breeds of ducks here. We have buff Orpingtons and Appleyard ducks. And then, of course, we got three different types of chickens. John Smith, welcome back. How you doing, friend? Mike Alm says, gross. The last one says, place bets on who you think is going to win, the ducks or the chickens. No, it's not going to be anything aggressive like that. One interesting thing. Oh boy, we're back on door duty. I got to keep the goats out too. So, ducks are way more pack animal. Chickens, they like to spread out. So when we let them free range, the chickens just kind of spread out in the yard. The ducks, they all stay huddled together. I think that means that ducks have a better survival instinct. My wife is saying, it is true. Ducks are less likely to get picked off by predators than chickens. How many ducks are going in? 17 of them. 15 of them. I got the number wrong. Am I even here? No, you're the duck lady, not me. Elliot says, do you have a crocodile? We are in northern Canada. Welcome to the lake. So no crocodiles up here. And Tommy says, I hate to sound rude. I love duck. They are delicious, beautiful birds, but I just think they taste so good. Sorry if that offends you. I mean, Tommy, I look at them, I let them have eggs, and I think, wow, your unfertilized babies look delicious. I don't think we're that different. I do eat all of the male ducks except for probably going to keep 2. We'll probably end up keeping 2 male ducks and the rest will turn into food.
Actually, ducks, it's 1 for every 5, 1 drake for every 5 ducks.
1 per 5, so we'll probably have to keep 4. Elliot says, do you have dragons? Absolutely. The nickname for my dog is Dragon Lily. The last one says, the country of maple. Funny you say that because one of my goats is named Maple right here. This one right here, that's Maple. Maple, this is your country. There you go. I made this tall enough to stand, but I always tend to have a habit of wanting to duck to not hit my head. I don't really need to duck. Except for to grab the door handle. Hi, ducks. Yeah, duck meat is delicious. There's no arguing there. But they are adorable. Ducks, if you come over here, there's a heat pad. So yeah, it's a healthy flock of fowl we have here. Kathy says, I have never eaten duck meat. It's really good. How would you describe duck meat, hun?
Oh my goodness, you're supposed to be watching!
Honey, don't freak out.
We're good. They literally fell out.
I know, it's okay.
Okay.
How would you describe duck meat?
It's better than chicken meat.
Better than chicken meat. That was a vague description, but there you go. The last one said, who wants to join my army of ducks? I've got 15 recruits here for you, friend. Tommy says, duck can be greasy, but it's delicious. Are you using a brooder plate? No, well, these ones just came out of the heated brooder. And yeah, I turned it on. And so I've got that heater over there for them.
Is it on high or low?
Low, because it's warm.
I just wanted to check. Okay, so that is all of them. Now, I'm gonna go out and watch in the yard as well. Can you please herd them towards the door?
You want me to bring them to the yard?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're herding you out. Out you go. Don't fall. It's okay. They say, no, but there's chickens out there. It's okay, guys. It's okay. You're all gooped up on the heater. Let's zoom you guys back out. Okay, guys. Out you go, out you go, out you go. Towards the chickens. Yep. Oh, boy. Come on, guys. Out you go. Out you go. Oh. It's chaos. Your arms are scaring them. Out you go. Out you go. Out you go. Oh boy. Oh boy. Out you go. Out you go. Out you go. Out you go. I know. You got one friend here you don't want to leave behind. No ducks left behind. I know it's scary, but it's okay. All your buddies are out there. Ah! My back wasn't built for this.
I'm gentle with my ducky.
I am gentle with your duck.
I think that this one, so this is interesting, this guy, I'm pretty sure, he's too young to tell, but I'm pretty sure he is going to be a drake. His beak is so much more pale than the others, and his coloring is very different. So we'll see.
Yeah, so typically to know the difference, the drakes
out.
usually have a more pale beak. But really, it's when they get a little older, you can tell, because when you pick them up, the drakes, the boys, they squawk instead of quack. And they end up developing what's called the drake feather. They have one tail feather that curves up. Similar thing with chickens. But I have not spent the time yet to really learn how to identify my roosters from my chickens yet.
Well, it's roosters have the bigger comb, and roosters have a big tail feather too. These guys are still pretty young.
Hi, Evie. Hi, Faye. We found a piece of bread out there.
Yeah, I threw the bread out because bread is not good for ducks.
Tommy says, I think it's so cool you live in the middle of nowhere with a ton of land. If I wanted, I can get the same amount of land you have in Pennsylvania. Just have to get my money in order first. That's a nice thing with northern Canada is that the land is still relatively cheap. Even for this lakefront property, you're talking about $2,000 an acre, which isn't that bad compared to a lot of places.
Hey, Justin, I'm going to let you watch these guys just for a little bit since you're...
I'll make sure we don't have a fight.
Get some fresh straw in here. Apparently, they all stay away from each other so far, so...
Okay.
And I also need to get their food. More food.
So far, so good.
Maybe they'll start to get more comfortable.
Derico, how you doing, friend? This is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter stream. I didn't bother charging my phone. It was kind of impromptu. We decided to introduce the ducks to the chickens, and I thought, that's entertaining television right there. So I did an impromptu live stream. Bentley, how you doing, Bentley? Compa Rays, welcome back. How you doing, friend? We're just hanging out with the ducks and the chickens. All my little buddies. So this log cabin I built is technically for the ducks. It's called the Wattle Inn. And there's some straw. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was chaos. So it's technically for the ducks. We weren't planning on getting any chickens. We were planning on just continuing to raise our ducks and grow our duck herd. But what ended up happening is I had a friend who their mother had ordered these chickens and got them as chicks, but the mom was older and she ended up passing away. And so the family wanted to rehome the chickens. And so they offered them to us if we wanted to take them and raise them. So we got all these chickens. I'm going to have a shower later anyway. So we got all these chickens last second. And we figured, we're in a position where we could take them because I already had the duck house. I just had to kind of screen in around it. But, yeah.
Good, the ducks have found the water.
Compa says hi to my wife.
Oh, hi.
And Cooper says, I just passed a kidney stone in front of my girlfriend's parents. I cannot sympathize with you that much because I've never passed one, but I'm sorry to hear that happened. Compa says, doing great, brother. Just got home of 2 hours fishing. Compa, you catch anything good? Anything noteworthy? Robert says, do you free range at all?
Yes, eventually.
My wife says, yes, eventually. So what happens is the ducks, they just started growing in their I don't know, out feathers. And so they got to still stay in and together until they're a little older, just for warmth. I have a heat pad right here and there for them. So we got to keep the ducks in. But the chickens, we do periodically free range them. Ah! I think I wanted to come say hi. Hello, buddy. Hello. So yeah, are you from Swiss? No, we're from Northern Canada. Northern Canada. Explorer says, hi to you both. Hey, guys. And Rakesh says, hey, bro and sis. Not my sister, that's my wife. Explorer says, what all animals do you got? We've got goats, pigs, chickens, ducks, rabbits, and cows. And Robert says, they got to learn their coop too. Takes a little time. Yes. Yeah, for now, the chickens are mostly in here. My wife does occasionally free range them for the days, as long as it's got a nice day out. Wasim, how you doing, friend?
All right, Justin.
Compa.
They know where the water is. I'm going to walk them back towards the house.
There's a goat.
Right back in.
Sounds good, hun.
Now, is there a way that you can close that up for tonight, later tonight?
Yeah, once.
Because I want to make sure that they don't get scared by the chickens out here and get cold.
Sure,
They're not fully feathered yet.
I will lock them all in here together tonight.
These ducks, you guys, are so easy to herd. These guys are only 4 weeks old. And look how easy they are to herd. Chickens go everywhere.
Are you trying to get the ducks in here?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to move out of the way, or,
Oh, yeah,
or are you just going to let them wander?
I want to show them back in now that they know where they're going.
Okay, and Compa says 1 bass, 2 catfish, and a couple of turtles. Nice. Sticky, how you doing, Sticky? Welcome back to the chat. We're hanging out with ducks and chickens. Get along well, guys. Don't fight. One thing I have to admit is that chickens and ducks both smell. They're not.
This means I need to clean out their coop.
I know we got to clean the coop, but they're a smelly animal regardless. Wasim says, what a nice place. Thank you. This is the log cabin. It's for the chickens, the ducks, and me if I ever make my wife angry enough. And Compa says, do you have any roosters? Yes. So at this point, it's hard to tell the difference, but like this guy's a rooster. That one's a rooster. They're still very young. They're only 2 months old. So right around now, you can kind of tell the difference. You know, I can kind of see the difference. Like this guy here, they got that tail feather that sticks up. That one over there, the gray one. So as they get a little older here, it gets easier and easier to tell. With the ducks, which the male ducks are called drakes, you can't tell really at this age.
Chickens are hogging the heat.
You get a little bit of.
You're not so cute.
You get a little bit of a tell with the ducks based on a lighter beak. You really got to pay attention to the quack or the squeak.
But they're still too young for that yet.
They're still a little young.
For drakes, the beak will be, once they're old enough, like Justin said earlier, the beak will be pale compared to the ducks, and the drakes will squeak, the ducks quack, and the drakes get a tail feather. But apparently I just learned that tail feather can actually go away.
It never on our last drake.
I know, but apparently it can.
Interesting.
I learned something new.
Yeah, and with the chickens, like if you look at that one in the corner,
Try and walk them over to the heat.
they seem happy.
I'm only more concerned about the ducks, you guys, because they're only 4 weeks old, so they need to know where their heat source is.
Come on, guys. Come on. This way, this way, this way, this way, this way. I don't think they're going to go just because there's a couple of chickens there.
Okay, so get the chickens out of there then. The ducks are more important.
They'll find the heat. If I block off the door, they will find the heat. If they want it, they'll take it.
Okay. I don't know that, but now try and walk them over. There's no chickens there.
Okay, chickens, come on.
They're ducks.
Or ducks, whoever you are. What are you? What are you? What are you? Right there, right there. Yep.
There we go.
Little farther, little farther. There you go.
I cannot believe that the ducks are bigger than the chickens. That's
There you guys go.
Hey, Justin?
Yeah.
The ducks are big. No, get this.
What?
Well, at least they know where it is.
I gave them access to the
Hey,
heat.
I'm really surprised. Like, the chickens really don't care about the ducks.
Wasim asked, do you eat them? The surplus males. The females are all for eggs.
The really nice thing about ducks is that you actually get good meat off of the drakes. They are a phenomenal dual-purpose bird. However, chickens, this is our first time doing chickens and roosters, but I've been told lots that you get pretty much no meat off of the rooster. Still, you get some. You can make like a soup, have some meat, but not like a duck. Ducks are awesome, guys.
Yeah, for chickens, there's different breeds. There's breeds specifically designed for eggs. That's these guys. And so they stay relatively lean.
Right, yeah.
They don't get super heavy. And then there's chickens that are bred specifically for meat. And they get so big that they actually, the way you know when they're ready to eat is their legs start to break. We are not doing meat birds. We are just doing egg birds. But when you get them from little baby chicks, you don't know what's a boy, what's a girl. So you got to raise them up and then figure out which is which. But they're at that age where you can start to tell. I can see a few of the roosters here. Just doing a quick survey. It's looking like there's more layers than roosters, which is good. This guy up here is a rooster by the looks of it. That one over there, you see that big feather sticking up in the back right there? Pretty sure that's a rooster. And then versus like this guy where these guys don't have that feather, some hens. So, yeah. If anyone has any questions about chickens or ducks, or for that matter, goats, feel free to ask. My cow is currently not here. My cow is at my neighbor's farm for another week. And we are currently breeding the cow with the neighbor's cow. And Valiant says, bro got the spring to life update. I don't fully understand the spring to life update, but I will agree with you anyway. Quinn is saying moo. I think these ones all say cluck. And then we got all these guys hanging out in here. I got some goats out in the background too. Quinn says buck, buck. Close enough. Close enough. Wow. So far that was good. That was less chaos than I was expecting. Wasn't sure if they were going to fight. That's why we're kind of playing moderator here, just making sure everyone's going to get along well. I mean, for the most part, it looks like the chickens are ignoring the ducks and the ducks are all just hanging out together. Hey, guys. And then we're also hatching right now. We're hatching 41 Alcona ducks. And the thing with Alcona ducks, they kind of look like cows. They're white and black spotted. And they have blue eggs. So that's 41 Ancona ducks. Wasim, thank you, friend. We do try our best. These guys have some fresh like radishes and stuff here on the ground too. We just fed them a bunch of fresh broccoli and fruit and some bread yesterday. Paul says, how much rain did you get up your way last night? Last night, I don't think I got any last night, but 2 nights ago when I was live streaming, we had a wicked storm. Now, the forest was so dry, I was expecting some of my roads to be washed out and trees to be down. We had probably 3 inches of rain and lots of thunder. What did happen was my dock ended up breaking in the storm. It was so windy. So I had to get in the water yesterday and pull my boat and dock up onto land. But no trees fell on my property that I saw. And yeah, we ended up doing pretty good. My road wasn't washed up. The road is so dry, it just absorbed all that water. There's almost no puddles. You know what did happen though? I left my truck window down. My truck seat was soaking wet. So all day yesterday, everywhere I had to drive, you know, a couple hours, and I was soaked. It was awful. Amber says, where will the hens lay their eggs? Not in here. So I'm currently building 2 chicken houses for them. So I've kind of got a unique design that I kind of came up with. So I'm building 2 chicken houses that are going to be they're mobile on wheels, and they'll be able to butt up side by side so that they can share a space when I want them to. I'm going to separate the chickens in half so there's not so many per space. The spaces are 8 foot by 6 foot. So that's plenty comfortable for about 15 to 20 chickens each. And then come the winter, those are going to butt up to their insulated duck or chicken coop, which I'm going to build just over here beside this one. And so the 2 houses I'm currently building will become the winter yard. So it'll be their spring, summer, fall yard, and then their winter yard when they're in the coop. And each one of those houses I've built nesting boxes in.
Hey Justin, how you doing?
Good.
Make sure not to block the door in case they want to go out. How's everybody on your chat doing?
I think everyone's doing well. I wish I didn't start the chat with a dead battery though.
Oh, too bad. Do you want? I guess I can't just swap it for you.
Yeah, this isn't the kind of phone you can swap a battery. Mbaric Amin says, ho! And Assad says, do chickens fart?
No, they poop.
I don't think they
I'm
fart,
just kidding.
guys.
Of course, I'm sure they fart. Every. If you poop, you gotta fart, right?
You heard it here first. If you poop, you fart. That is words to live by.
All right. Well, duckies.
Paul says, do you do much ice fishing? I could, because I got the lake right there, but I hate the cold. I hate the extreme cold. And our winters are extreme cold. So I don't do a lot of ice fishing. I do some. At some point when the boys are older, I should do a ice fishing shack so that I can have a heater in there and actually enjoy it. For now, I don't. So yeah, I built a skating rink out there, but I don't do ice fishing. Stay out, goat. You're not allowed in. Hey. Oreo. Hey. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it, Oreo. You can't eat the chickens. No, don't eat the chickens. Native Boy says, bonjour mon ami. Comment est passée ta journée? La mienne est formidable. Hello, friend. How are you? I'm having a good day. I hope you're having a good day too. We're just hanging out here on the homestead. You like the beard, eh? It's a little rough right now. I didn't brush it. Honestly, the thing about having a scraggly beard like this is it looks a million times better when you care for it. When you brush it, put some oil in it, it looks way better. Right now, I'm a little scraggly, and that's okay. I wasn't planning on coming in stream, but here I am. Jesus Christ is King says, whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Romans 10:13. Unless you are a rooster, then you are going to turn into food. Wasim says, how do you know France? How do I know French? I barely know French. I am Canadian, and so in Canada, it is our second language. And so we do have to learn le petit français in school. But I haven't had to learn or speak French properly in probably 20 years. So my French is not very good. And Grunge Revival says, chickens. Well, found my new favorite stream tonight. Oh, look at these guys. What? We got chickens to the front, ducks to the back. We're having a party. It's an A-frame chicken house, duck house party. Welcome to the Waddle Inn Duck House. Yes. We just introduced the ducks and chickens together. This is their first interaction together. I should probably step away from the door, but there's nowhere to hide. Where do I hide? And so, yes, it's just their first introduction together. The chickens are probably gonna be a little bit bossy at first because the chickens have been in here for a couple weeks now, whereas the ducks, they just got put in here. You can see their feathers, their full feathers are just coming in over the down. They've been in their heated brooder for the last month, and so they're just finally ready. I do have a heat pad here, so they're just finally ready to come out in here. But we want to monitor the situation and make sure they're not gonna scrap or fight at all. Chad says, okay, this is cool. Just popped in. What is this channel about? Well, thank you for asking, Chad. This is a off-grid homesteading channel. So I live off-grid, northern Canada. I've got 156 acres on the lake. It just goes on and on and on, my friends. I've got pigs, goats, rabbits, ducks, chickens, cows. I think I named them all. I don't know. Life's a blur. We're talking about getting some donkeys next year, and I'm looking for some Berkshire pigs. So right now I'm raising seasonal pigs. What I decided to do is my pigs are actually living in the forest. I have a peninsula, so my land is really safe, but I did electric fence off about half an acre of land for the pigs, raised them to the electric fence, trained them to it, and so now they live in the forest. But the pigs I got are seasonal Yorkshire pigs. What I want to do is get some Berkshire pigs. Now the difference between a Yorkshire and a Berkshire is their hair. Yorkshires are your classic pink pig. They really have no hair, so they can't do our cold winters. Up here in northern Canada, it gets down to minus 50 Fahrenheit, minus 50 Celsius. It is nasty. And those pink pigs need a heated barn. But because I live off grid, the only way to heat the barn is with a fire. And I'm not going to burn the barn down. Ah! What are you doing? You scared me. You flew right into my face, buddy. Oh, yes. Are you gonna let me touch you or are you gonna freak out? Oh, yes. We got that chicken. I think he enjoys back pats. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing Berkshires because then I can breed them and raise them year round. They're winter hardy. They have thick brown hair. Hello, chicken. Hello, chicken. The time in Germany is 4:47 a.m. What about Canada? We are at 8:47, now 8:48. And Anti-Social says, gorgeous property, thank you. Chad says, that is awesome. I want to do that one day. I'm sure you will teach me things. I know some things, but off-grid is different level. It is. So the house is heated with solar and a generator. I try to utilize solar, but you know, when you got all these heaters going, you just burn too much power. My solar array is relatively small, but it does the job. And yeah, it is quite the life. It's lovely. It's hard to complain, guys. Jackson, how you doing, friend? Hope you're having a good time. Hope you're having a good night. We got the ducks in the back, the chickens to the side, the chickens to the front. I think this guy's my new friend. This is a hen, so this lady is my new friend. Oh, don't freak out. Don't freak out. I'm just giving you the pets. I'm just giving you the pets. This is why chickens get eaten by foxes. I mean, not by humans, but yes, by humans. But I mean by foxes. They're too nice. They're too friendly. They don't know to run. And whereabouts in Canada? It's 9:49 for me, and I'm in Indiana. I'm in the far north, northern Canada. I'm getting eaten by bugs right now, though. And Wasim says, do you feed them any type of medicine? No, so these chickens are not eating any, they call that medicated chicken starter or medicated chicken grower. No, the ducks do get, they get a pill of some sort, niacin. Yeah, niacin. Just because they don't get that in their diet normally and they need it. So we do add niacin to their water, but the chickens, they're good. The chickens only need the medicine if they start to get sick. And often because chickens are raised in mass and they tend to pass on their illnesses to each other, generally people will raise them with medicated chicken starter and they'll just preemptively do it. But these are all healthy birds. We've had them for over a month now. They're not introduced to any other chickens, so they're not going to get sick. Peter, how you doing, Peter? Peter, you know what's killing me? This live stream is bumping. It's great. I'm having a good conversation with everyone, but I did not charge my phone because I was planning to keep this short. We're introducing the chickens and the ducks together. And because of that, I didn't charge my phone. I just wanted to have a quick one. No cowboy hat tonight. This was really impromptu. This was the hat of the day. This was the hat I was wearing today. So yeah, just keeping it kind of chill today. Chad says, maybe use apple cider if you can get it. I put apple cider in the water. I've heard that. What does the apple cider do? Help with parasite load? Is that what it does? I have heard people do that. Hello, friend. I think that's a happy hen. What do you guys think? Oh, don't run. Don't run. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to eat you yet. You're good. You're good. I want you to lay eggs so you'll live a long, happy life. Yeah, so like I said, the chickens are about 2 months old, just shy of 2 months old. And Georgia says she is curious about the ducks. Who is curious about the ducks? Chad asked British Columbia. No. We're in the far north in Canada, like towards Hudson's Bay. And Wasim says, that's a habebe chicken. Your hen. Oh, yes, she is checking out. She is curious about the ducks. She's the most brave one. She's the one getting closest to the ducks anyway. They're at that age, 2 months old, where I can start to see the difference between the roosters and the hens. But I'm still new to this. So, like, this guy here's a rooster. You see those tail feathers sticking out? They're protruded further. He's got the bigger plumage on his head. Whereas this one's a hen. Hello, guys. I have a feeling more of these guys are going to fly beside me here soon. And what kind of chickens are the black and gray ones? Can someone please let Peter know in the chat? I am not the chicken guy. These were all gifted to me, so I did zero homework, and they're more my wife and kids thing. I know we've got Colombian Rocky Roads, some Rocky Reds, something like that. I have no idea. I know what the ducks are. The ducks are my thing. We've got apple yard. Ah! Someone flew up beside me. We got apple yards and buff Orpingtons, and then we're raising, hatching some Ancona ducks. Bard Rock, thank you, Chad. Plymouth Rocks, thank you. That sounds right. Both of those sound right. And DJ says Canadian bacon. They're living in the forest right now, friend. They're living their best life. We might go check on them here shortly. I got to go check their water. So let's go check on the pigs here. Minty says, how many eggs you got? You know what? These guys are all fresh. They're not at egg laying yet. Chickens and ducks start laying eggs at about 6 months. These chickens are 2 months old. The ducks are only 1 month old. So they're not going to start laying until September, October. Devin, how you doing, friend? Ducks and chickens, you got it, my man. Devin, I have to ask, not to be insensitive, but I do know some male Devins and some female Devins. I know it's a universal name. Devin, are you a she or a he or a they, them? Let me know. I don't want to get it wrong on chat. It's hard to tell. And Minty says, you're going to have so many, bro. Devin says, I'm a dude. Okay, thank you. Thank you. That is the male way to spell it, but I didn't want to be rude about it. Yeah, so of the chickens, it looks like about half of them are roosters and half of them are hens. I haven't done a full head count yet, but it looks about 50-50. And so we're going to have about 15 laying hens by the time this is done. So that's, you know, you're good roughly 10 to 15 eggs a day. And then we've got 17 ducks behind me. And I'm hatching another 41. You know what happened to me last year, though? Last year, I hatched 23 ducks. And 18 of them ended up being drakes, ended up being males. So we only had 5 layers. And unfortunately, at the end of winter, right before the spring came, a fox got in here and ate them all. It was unfortunate. And Devin says that is too many males. Yes, all those males had to get eaten. Roosters are going freezer camp. We'll probably keep 2 roosters. You got to keep at least 1 per 10 hens just to stop the hens from fighting. So we'll probably keep 2 roosters. And then the drakes, you want to keep 1 drake for every 5 ducks. So we'll definitely keep some boys as well. They're not going to live together long term. The ducks have, I'll go show you. We're going to go for a little walk ski, guys. Everyone say goodbye to the chickens and ducks. We're going to go for a little walk. You guys play nice. You guys stay friendly. Stay nice, guys. The heat, hey guys, the heater is over there. Yeah, the heater's over there. You guys go over there. Go to that corner. Go find the heat. Yeah, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. There you go. There you go. Bundle up nice and close. Feel that heat? You feel that? Stay over there. Stay over there. Enjoy the heat now. And you guys play nice. DJ says bye to the chickens and the ducks. Oh, and we got the goats over here coming to say hi. There's the log cabin, the wattle inn. Lovely little build. But I'm going to show you what I'm building for the chickens. Let's go take a little walk. Well, you can see it right here. So this is the chicken house I'm working on. We'll get a closer look. I'm building 2 of them. So it's going to be their spring, summer, fall yard. And then for the winter, it's going to attach to the insulated coop. Ah, we almost dropped you in the pig poop. Actually, cow poop. Okay. Oh, I'm in the process of leveling out the yard here. Oh boy. And putting a walking trail in just to stay up out of the mud. But this right here is a work in progress. I started it on the weekend, but then we had thunderstorms and I had to just park it for a minute. But this is going to be, started putting wheels on it. Got to build the nesting boxes in here. Sorry about the plywood being in the way, but nesting boxes will go here. Then you got the sides. I'll probably put a door on the side as well as the front. Did my bird's mouth joints. Look how pretty that joint is. Look at that. That's just a beautiful cut right there. Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Welcome to your uncertified, unlicensed carpenter. But I'm building another one. So I've already started framing in a second one. I've got the tin roofing up ahead. So yeah, we're gonna take quick squatter's rights to sit in the truck for a second so I don't lose you guys, and we'll chat for a second because I've got like 5% battery life and I don't want to lose you guys. I don't want to lose you. So we're gonna plug in because I got a charger right here. Let's turn the Bluetooth off. Disable the Bluetooth. And let's plug in for a second. So yeah, it's very much so a work in progress. Make sure we're plugged in. There we go. But I figure that I should have that chicken house built within a couple days. Get the first one built, then I'll finish the second one. That way I can free range the chickens around the yard. That is the plan. Can you guys still hear me well? Just want to make sure I didn't mess this up by going into CarPlay. Is the audio the same? Different? Is it okay? And Devin says, finally get to see the place. There's my good old homestead cabin with the moose antlers. Got the lake all the way around here. Yes. I am just catching up with you guys. Gary the snail, welcome back, friend. And please keep us out of the cow poop. I need to do a compilation of how many times I drop my phone on live stream because it is often, especially when I'm building stuff. Anytime I'm near the goats, if I put the tripod down, the goats are going to knock it down. That's a guarantee. Native boy is saying bonjour mon ami, comment passé journée. I already read that. You commented that earlier. And Wasim is saying, do you watch football? As in soccer. Over here we call it soccer. I've seen it live. I've played a little bit recreationally, but no, I do not follow it. I do not watch Messi. Just highlights. Can always appreciate some good highlights. Robert says you can hear me loud and clear. Gary is confirming. Minty is saying it's crispy. It's minty and crispy, but you're good. Devin says, that's beautiful, bro. I've seen the fence and the inside, the garage. Yes, the garage is coming along. 4 out of my 6 shelves I built. Still got more to go. Gary's saying, what's the temperature up there right now? It's almost 95 here today. Oh, it's cold. It's cold. 18 degrees. 18, what's that? That's like 68 Fahrenheit? Am I close? Someone do the conversion. 18 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. I'm going with 67. I gotta be close. 67 Fahrenheit. Minty says, goats are gonna eat the camera. They try. They knock it over and they try to eat it. I got some diapers back there for the baby. Minty said, one time I angered a chicken and it impaled me when I was 7. It impaled you, like it penetrated your body? Gary says, wow. Yeah, it's cold, man. And Robert says, oh, it's hitting over 100 here daily in the south. Yesterday, because my dock broke off and started floating away, I ended up having to go into the water. And yesterday it was like 16. It was even colder, a couple degrees colder. And I had to go into the lake and retie the rope that snapped off of my anchor being a tire full of cement. And yeah, I had to dive under the water and retie that. And it was cold. I've been in colder. I've been in, the water when the ice is still on. But still, it was cold. And Devin has done the math. Thank you, Devin. 64 degrees right now up here in Canada. Chad says 80 degrees here. And Chad is saying improved digestion, ACV, can help maintain a healthy gut pH and promote beneficial bacteria growth, aiding digestion, immune support. ACV can boost the immune system. Chad, do you work for Big Pharma? What's ACV? What is ACV? I feel like I'm missing the context. ACV. I can't even pretend to make up an acronym for that. Once we get back up into close to 20% battery, we're at 11. We're going to go check on the pigs because I need to go see their water. Let's say hi to Lily. There's Lily. Bow wow. Lily is doing her thing. She's just hanging out on the deck. She's an awesome guard dog at night. Thank you, Devin. Thank you. I should have caught that by the earlier conversation. ACV, apple cider vinegar. It's good for the immune system and digestive health. Specifically in birds or humans too. I do know some people who will drink a little bit as a health booster. So I assume it's good for humans as well. Lots of health benefits for all around. Chad, apple cider vinegar. You could tell I'm distracted by this. We also have over here, hiding in the hutch, Mama Rabbit and her babies. She's licking a baby right. Oh no, she's drinking water. She's got babies in there. This was her smallest litter. I don't normally keep the rabbits in there. I have inside the barn, I have some big areas for the rabbits. But when they have fresh babies, I like to keep them in the hutch because we just don't have to worry about any predation when they're in the hutch. In the barn, I've had issues with things like weasels trying to get into the barn. But in the hutch, we've had a very good success rate, 100%. This was her smallest litter. So normally my rabbits, speaking of Chad's name, normally my rabbits have litters of, I want to say 10. Usually it's about 10 babies. This was the smallest litter. She only had 3. So we had 3 baby rabbits this go. And Devin says, I have family that has used it. Gary says, how many hours a day do your kids have school with your wife? I think it takes about an hour per child. And we've got 3 that are in homeschool. And then when she's done with one, the other 2, like while she's working with one, the other 2 are doing homeschool work. But the hands-on, like hands-on teaching about an hour a day and then about another 2 hours of activities and exercises. But when you're homeschooling, everything is kind of life lessons because you're spending so much time with your kids. So today I was talking to my oldest, just working out the math for him. We're talking about, I want to buy some Berkshire pigs this summer, fall, to start breeding for next year. And I'm talking about allowing him to raise the piglets. And then he's got to he wants to raise them. He wants to spend all the time and effort feeding them, giving them water, doing all that. In return, when we sell the piglets, when they're full size, he's going to get back the money. He'll pay me for the feed, and then he'll pocket the difference, but he's got to raise them fully. So it's all part of that homeschool life lesson. He wants to, I'm going to have to teach him how to keep track of his expenses, his revenues, how to advertise, how to seek out clients. I'm going to make him make the phone calls and work all that out. And when I have to go pick up the pigs, he's coming with me. We're going for a drive together. So that's kind of the way we do it. When you really think about it, the traditional school system, it's great for what it is. It gives the parents a chance to go to work and whatnot. But if you can afford to stay home, nobody's going to teach your kids or raise your kids as well as you can. So my wife used to be a registered nurse. I was a civil engineer. So we do have very good academic credentials. So, and we do pay for a homeschooling program. We kind of have a couple homeschool programs that we pay into. My wife's mostly the expert on that. But it's not like we just teach them nilly-willy whatever. We do teach them according to curriculum. And Devin says, so much life on your stead. Chad says, yeah, it's good for your farm animals if you can get it. Robert says, do rabbit kits need heat? No. Rabbit kits are actually phenomenal at staying warm. The coldest we've had a successful birth was -20, -25. If you go any colder, the babies will freeze. And so you just keep the males separate during those really cold months, just because it's tragic when you lose a litter of rabbits to the cold. So generally we try not to breed them during the winter. Start of winter till about -10 and the tail end, but not the dead of our winters. Our winters get to like -50 here. So it gets super cold. The babies just can't survive that. But the adult rabbits do better in the winter than they do in the summer, because their fur is meant to keep them warm in the winter. They get over way too hot during the summer, so you want to make sure that they're facing a breeze and they have room to stretch out, lots of water, all that fun stuff. Devin says, teach him young and right. Chad says, that's good. Gary says, I think that's an excellent reason or lesson for a young person. Devin says, you're both qualified to teach your kids. Peter says, hi. Hey, Peter. Chad says, -50 Celsius. Yes, which I think is close to -50 Fahrenheit. I know -40 is like the match point. -40 Celsius is about -40 Fahrenheit. This past winter is when I started live streaming, and I did some live streams at -40. It was awful. My phone could only last about 20 minutes from full charge before it would die. And you'd watch during a 20-minute live stream, my face just turn into an icicle. My beard would just start hanging with ice. My eyes would start to freeze shut. I did a couple live streams that way. So if you want to see what that's all about, scroll till you see my live stream thumbnails where I'm just a big old beard of ice. That's -40. It's awful. -50, you can't even try. Can't even try. The phone won't run. And Peter says, what's the most snow you guys ever had? And do you ever get ice storms? Yes and yes. So while I've lived out here, we haven't had any crazy winters. I've only wintered twice out here. And so, I don't know, the most we've had out here overnight was like 2 feet of snow. There have been years though where we've had over 4 feet of snow in one dump, but for us, it's not so much getting a lot at once. It's the sustained snow. Because it's so cold, the snow doesn't go away. And so you'll end up with over the course of a winter, you can end up with 5-6 feet of snow that doesn't go away. You know, the snow will go over the steps all the way up to the deck. You know, you got to shovel it out around the door. Yeah, the winter gets wild. A lot of shoveling. I'm actually bidding on some tracked skid steers at an auction right now, an online auction. I'm borrowing a loader right now. I think that's it right behind me. Can you guys see that yellow thing right about there? It's a loader. It's not mine. I'm borrowing it. So my big tractor, my farm tractor over there, she currently broke down, but it doesn't start in the winter. So you end up doing a lot of hand shoveling. So I'm trying to get a tracked skid steer, because then I can have that for all winter and I can use that for moving all this snow. It's a lot better than shoveling. And Devin says, we'll watch it later. Thank you, Devin. Alan says, thinking about emergency situations, you got a volunteer fire department. How close is the local hospital? Local hospital is about an hour away. The fire department, there, if you ask my insurance company, it's within a half hour. Sticky Heel says, are you guys trying to have kids? We have our 5 kids, as you know. Sticky has been a long-time viewer and supporter. Thank you, Sticky. We have 5 kids right now. I am not actively trying to have any more kids, but I'm not medically preventing it from ever happening again in the future. I personally, so here's the thing. It's not that I don't want, let me turn some lights on. Aha. It's not that I don't want more kids. I love our kids, and I think kids are a blessing. If you are able to have kids and you can support that, you have the means to support that, you have the house and land to support that. I'm all for having more kids. We can financially support more kids. Currently have a baby, so I don't want to get another one going right now because I got a little one right now. But what my hesitation is, my wife, she's all for it, but my hesitation is my wife had a lot of health problems after babies 3 and 4. Baby 5 went mostly good, but she's still struggling with blood clotting in her legs and a bit of anemia, low iron. But after baby 3 and 4, she almost died. And so I hesitate for her health. That's where my hesitation comes from. I've got a potential bad comment for review. Let's view that. Oh, that's fine. Sticky, it tried to hold your comment. I know your wife wants 6 kids. I think it thought it meant 6 of something else. I don't know. Do you guys measure in feet or inches? Okay, let's get rid of the green screen. Don't know why that came on. And if you need medical attention, your wife can do a lot, unless it's more severe than what she can handle. And Mail says an hour away. Good way to not receive any help when needed. It's risky. And Devin says, you also have a lot you need to do. Mail says, are your baby going to work at the age of? I don't quite understand that one. Devin says, oh, not good. Just a Dude says, howdy. How you doing, Just a Dude? Sticky says, there is always a choice of adoption. We have talked about that. My wife has, her mom is adopted, and her grandparents had actually adopted, I think, 4 or 5 children. They had a very large family. Her grandpa was a doctor, her grandma was a nurse, and they had a lot of means, and they had adopted a good, healthy amount of children. So we are definitely pro-adoption. As of right now, though, we're not looking towards adoption while we still physically can have our own children, but I'm in no rush. 5 is an army. I have 5 sons. I don't even have a daughter mixed in there. I got an army of 5 boys, and it is chaos. It is chaos. I like to do boy things with the boys. So we've got Nerf guns. And of course, it's 5 versus 1, me being the one. I bought them rubber LARP, live action role-playing swords. They're rubberized swords, but they hurt. Again, it's 5 versus 1. But you know what I did? I gave them all swords. I bought myself a 7-foot-long spear. Yeah. I can fight all 5 at once until they get older. But for now, oh yeah. And Mail says, for how long are you going to support your kids when they're getting older is what I mean. I'll support my kids till the day I die. My kids are going to grow up in an economy that's a lot different than what I grow up with. I think it's going to be a lot harder for them. My goal is in about 3 to 5 years, I'm going to start building my next house on this property. I'm going to keep this house in front of me. So I'll keep, oh boy, we're zoomed, zoom out. I'm going to keep this house, and then that house can be for the boys. And then over time, we can look at building more houses on this property. So I think land ownership and wealth is going to be a lot harder to come by for the future generations. So I'm kind of mentally prepping that way for now. All boys. Unos, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. My wife is heavily outnumbered, 6 to 1. So, yes. You know what's interesting? we weren't going to do goats. We started with cows and rabbits. We weren't going to do goats right away. I wanted to wait a year. And then my wife started getting baby fever. And in order to stop her from wanting to have another baby, I got her goats. We still had another baby, but now we have 10 goats. And Devin says, this is very true. Land will be difficult, not impossible, to acquire. Yeah, it is so hard to try to project, the economy come 15, 20 years out. So at least I know the boys will be okay. But I am not of the mentality to kick them out. I'm not in the mentality of freeloading either. But we have a whole farm going on here, slowly growing that. And by slowly, I mean pretty quickly. So the more helping hands, the better. Sticky says, I have 9 brothers. Brian, Stephen, Lucas, Kai, Michael, James, Gabe, Tom, and Wilson. That is aggressive. That is awesome. Chad says, I would like to learn more about how you do your solar or the way you do your power. Gary, what are we at right now? We are at 20%. As soon as that goes green at 21%, I will take you for a walk into the garage. I will show you my solar setup and how we run that. I'm using a very aged system, and so there are better systems. I think what I'll do is first, I'll take you over to the pigs, and I'll show you my small scale solar setup, because I have a solar, a fence energizer, a charge controller, and solar panel and battery. And those are kind of the 4 components you want. I mean, you don't need the fence energizer, but you need the charge controller, you need a battery, you need a panel if you're going to get anything going. And that right there, just one solar panel, the battery, the energizer. I keep that energizer running 24/7 on one panel. We are very close. About another minute, and I will take you to go see the pigs, and then we'll go into the garage. Gary says, I think you guys have a wonderful place to live and a great place for the boys. Devin says, you're starting your own small army. You'll have hands for it. We've got a message potentially held. I don't know why. Sticky, the chat keeps wanting, the chat keeps wanting to hide your comments. Sticky says, wish they were all girls, because the toilet is always peed on. Yeah, that's a fight. My boys are really good. They're really good about keeping the seat up, flushing afterwards. Of course, they need a reminder every once in a while. Boys be boys. But yeah, they're pretty good little aimers. We are ready to go check on the pigs. We got 20% battery, so that'll buy us another 10 minutes. Whew. Let's turn this bad boy off. Let's hop out here, turn the light off so I don't kill the battery. Okay, guys. Ugh. I'll take you to see the pigs first, because the another comment. I have what I got going on right now is I've got I set up in my chat log pre-screening of messages that might come up as inappropriate. So far it's not, nobody's being inappropriate, so it's good. But I got another one, so I just got to pre-read it before I do it. Dude. Okay, Zach, I read your comment, but I can't show it because you swore. But Zach is basically saying, don't you think you should let young people breed with whoever they want when their body is wanting to breed? Hi, hon, I love you. I'm going to go check on the pigs. No, I don't think that, because I think that there is a lot of value in the core family. Kids need to grow up with parents. They need to grow up with good moral ethic guidance. And so if you just let humans breed like rabbits, see, the thing is with chickens, if they have 1 million babies, you can cull off the aggressive ones. You can cull off the mean ones. You don't do that with humans. Sure, there's the jail system, but you don't intentionally do that. You need good moral examples. So I don't think that humans should be able to breed with just anyone whenever, as much as they want. Because I think that a good core family unit is important. Plus, when you're young and horny, you don't make good decisions. This is what we got going on. I'll show you. I'll flip it around. Okay, so this one solar panel, this is the charge controller. Underneath here, I have, this guy here is like a This one is a $30 controller. So what this does is it regulates how much power is coming off of here and sends it to the battery. So I've got the wires from the solar panel going into this and then coming out of here onto the battery right here and right here. And just this one panel, this is a 80-watt panel. This is just an 80-watt panel. This is a pretty cheap panel. Those panels aren't expensive, but one panel alone is able to maintain 13,000 volts, full battery, 12.4 volts. So just one battery alone is enough to maintain that with one single panel. There is some math that you got to do when you're trying to size solar panels and batteries, but it just goes to show the efficacy of it. And Zach says, very impressive answer. I agree. Thank you, Zach. Yes, I would have let your message show except the swear. I'm really trying to keep this a very wholesome environment. Okay, I got to check if the pigs have been drinking their water. So we're sitting around half here. Nope, I'll show you. We're zoomed in. Zoomy zoom, on zoom. Okay, so they're sitting around half. I got to skim off the top here. It looks like I've got some, is that mosquito larvae sitting on the top maybe? I'm going to have to grab a little fine mesh strainer and just strain out the top here. This waterer, the way it works is the pigs put their mouth there and water dispenses. But they're not drinking as much as I want them to. Come here, pigs. Come on, pigs. Where are you guys hiding? So I got the pigs living in the forest. Pigs. Come here, buddies. Come on, guys. Where are you guys hiding? I hear you. Come on, pigs. Come see me. Come say hi. They might already be bedded down, so they might not come find me. It's getting late out, but I wanted them to come see me. I think I'm gonna leave them though. If they're not eager to come, then they must be sleeping in the forest. We're not gonna go searching for them because the bugs are getting atrocious. I'll just check on them in the morning. I've already fed them, so they're good. Let's go show Chad that solar setup. I hear the chickens flying around in the coop. I don't know if the ducks are... I don't think they're fighting with the ducks because the ducks aren't making a loud ruckus, but I can hear a lot of flapping coming from over there. My dock broke on me, I was telling you guys earlier. So it's hanging there, but I've got this part of the dock anchored and this one ratchet strapped in place. So it's not going to go anywhere, but I need to take the boat out into the lake, anchor it, disconnect the pontoon section of my dock over there. I need to anchor that. Then I can straighten out the portable portion of the dock. I got to do a little bit of welding to it, just from where it broke. So I'll weld that up. That's going to involve going for a swim though, because I'm going to have to put the boat out there, anchor it, swim back to shore, put the other pontoon out, anchor that, swim back, and then straighten everything out while in the water. So it's going to be a bit of a journey. And Chad was saying, show-wee. Normally I sing to them, but I'm too embarrassed to sing on live stream. Kyle says, when he yelled, come on, pigs, for some reason, I got off my couch. Now, friend, you're not a pig. You're a people. I know, I sometimes get confused by that too. And so here's the solar panels. So here are my solar panels. Oh boy. So this is a relatively small array. The problem is you have to pay attention to the amperage coming off of everything. I have a few more panels here, but my solar charge controller only can handle 30 amps coming in. And so this setup max it, like I'm getting 27.5 amps. If I add another panel, I will pull in too much amperage and I will fry my controller. The controllers aren't that expensive, so I really should think about upgrading. For like 150 bucks, I can get a bigger one. The problem is I'm also kind of maxed out on space here. So if I want to add more of those solar panels into the array, I need to then, I'm going to show you, we're going inside. I then need to increase my charge controller, and I need to build another stand to optimize the placement for the panels. And then I got to run more wiring. So all of those panels, they run together into one wiring harness. They're all daisy chained together to run into one harness. Then when we come in here, underneath this disaster are my batteries. I'm trying to see if I can maybe lift this up for you, but this here, this is the charge. So this is the charge controller. So that's a 60 amp charge controller. Sorry, I think I said 30. It's 60 amps. And then this, so what we're looking at here is, this is basically the brain, the power conversion center. And then we have the conversion module. So basically this is what pulls in. You've got the charge controller here, charging the batteries. So that's going into the batteries. And then this is converting it from 24 volts into 120 volts. So this guy is what's taking the power from the batteries. Okay, so the sun goes into this. This goes to the batteries. And then these convert the power to usable power. Nowadays, a modern unit, this is old. A modern unit, this is all one unit about the size of this guy. So all these three pieces nowadays can be switched into one piece. And one thing I had to do is they had the solar panels running to this charge controller and this charge controller because they added panels at different times. But I switched from lead acid batteries to lithium iron batteries, and the lithium iron batteries require. I've got a mouse in here, or a bird. I gotta go take a look at that. The one charge controller can't charge lithium iron batteries properly. The other can, so I had to disconnect the one and switch it over. But yeah, and then we have in here. In here is the generator, the big old generator. So this is on this thing. I've replaced the starter. I've replaced the starter solenoid. I've replaced the charge controller, or not the charge controller, voltage regulator. Of course, we got a brand new battery down there. A booster pack for when that battery doesn't work. I've replaced the fuel pump down there, and I've redone a bunch of the wiring. And of course, I've switched out the relays. We've basically rebuilt this whole thing, other than the gears on the inside. And so, on this guy, let's just switch over to our meters. So we're currently pulling 8 amps at 120 volts. We're currently sitting at 26.5 volts power. For my specific lithium iron batteries, they're 24 volt batteries, but full charge is actually 27.2 volts. Dead is around 24.5 volts. You don't want to ever let them get dead. So I charge mine from 25.2 to 27.2. That gets me about a day and a half of power, 2 days power. Do you have any specific questions? Is lithium better? Yes. Lithium iron, they call that LiFePO4, lithium iron batteries. Dalton, how you doing, friend? Sorry, I see you there. The lithium iron batteries, I'll show you this because this is kind of important, but I gotta kind of get in here without spilling everything. But this is my battery box setup. It's got all the batteries in here, all wired together with 2 bus bars. Ugh. So I have 8 batteries in there, 20 kilowatt hours worth of storage. They run all to 2 bus bars. So all the positive to 1 bar, all the negative to 1 bar, and then the 1 positive and negative come off of there and into here. So that way the power can be charged and drawn, balanced. Pull off every battery the same amount. Hope that makes some sense. I hope that answers some questions. Oh, we're gonna come out here because it's hot in there. So it's not lithium ion, it's lithium iron. I-R-O-N, iron. LiFePO4. A lithium ion battery is what you'd have in your cell phone. A lithium iron battery is what you'd use to charge your house. So it's an old setup. It's a little antiquated, but here's the thing. I plan to build a new house within 5 years, at which point I'll probably upgrade my entire solar setup to power both houses, and maybe just keep this one as a backup. So I can turn the main breaker off of this one, and then if I ever need to power just this house and not the other, I could switch. But all of this is old. The generator's old. The controllers and voltage regulator, everything's old. But I don't want to go and put a bunch of money into it when I'm going to build a brand new setup anyway. They do make it a lot easier nowadays than what I got over there. Like I showed you with the pigs, it's almost that simple. Just from there, you just need one more piece if you want to convert to 120 volts. You're going to need the power conversion center. But now it's all one piece instead of like 4 pieces. Yes. Robert says, thanks for showing that. Def answered a lot of questions. I can't say I'm an expert, but I've done a lot of homework and I think I know a thing or two. And Chad says, okay, understanding how it works a little better. Just getting it put together might be tricky. It's not that bad. There's a lot of subreddits, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of guys who will walk you through everything you need to buy and everything you need to install. If you're not a DIY, there are professionals that can help. But otherwise, it's not that tricky. From that power conversion center, where it's 120 volts, it goes to my fuse panel. So from there, the power goes to the fuse panel, at which point it's just like every other house. You've got all your 15 amp breakers, 20 amp breakers, 25 amp breakers to power all your outlets, so you can turn off different zones in the house. So yeah, once you get to the power conversion center, now you're basically back to normal power. Can it be 240? Yes. I did have a 240 volt plug. What ends up happening, you need a separate transformer. So you bring 2 lines of 120 volts over to a transformer that then combines those 220 volt lines and steps it up to a 240 volt system. I actually disconnected the, so long story short, the reason my yard is a disaster is because I had to replace my well and my well pump. And the old well was 240 volts, but the new replacement is 120 volts. And so I took the 240 volt line and disconnected the transformer so that the remaining power out to the well was 120. And I have 120 volts just chilling here because I plan to install an outlet, just so I have an outlet in the middle of the yard, because why not have access to power right here? So it's just a matter of having a transformer installed. I just basically bypass the transformer and turn this line into 120 volts instead of a 240 volts line. But yeah, you can power both. You can power both. And James says, not gonna lie, I don't understand a thing. You are not too dumb. I might just be doing a bad job explaining it. I'm not a full expert. I dabble with electricity and electrocute myself every once in a while. Kate says, can we see your animals? I don't know, can you? Or do you mean, may I? That's a teacher joke right there. Let's go see who we can see. Lily, come here, Lily girl. Here's animal number 1. Lily beans. Hello, Lily. Oh, Lily. Hi. Hello. Do you want to kiss the phone? Mwah. This is Lily. Oh, sit. She's like, I like the head scratches, Daddy. It's okay. Oh, Lily. This is the protector. She's a good girl. That's good girl number 1. Oh boy, now she wants to show us all the animals. She says, I'll show you, Dad. I'll show you. I know where they live. And Kyle says, you're not a real electrician unless you've shocked yourself. Then I am a dang good electrician. We got Hero over here. Or you're fake. I think this guy's actually Foy Coco. I get that wrong. This is our male rabbit, our breeder. Here is Fluffy. Hey girl, she's got some fresh broccoli in there. Where are your babies at? Oh, I don't want to open that yet. Let's open it this way. Oh, I think her babies are in the very back. I can't see because it's dark now. But there's her. She's got some babies in there, but I think they're tucked in the back and probably sleeping right now. So I don't want to bug them. So I'm not going to show you the cuteness yet. We got goats. This is our full-size goat. This is Faye. She is an Alpine Toggenburg. And her baby Elsa, also an Alpine Toggenburg. We have our pygmy goat Buck. He's our breeder. We have all these guys. Hi, Evie. Hey, girl. Hey, puppy. Evie is like a dog. She's very sweet. We got Mimi over here, the milker. She's our milk producer. How you doing, buddy? His horns are growing in nice. We've got Noe. There's Maple. Where's Oreo hiding, guys? Where's Oreo? Is Faye being mean to Oreo again? Hey, girl. Oreo. Oh, Oreo's out with the chickens. Oreo's eating a piece of bread. That's where Oreo is. My cow is currently at the neighbor's farm shacking up with their bull. So I can't show you my cow right now. Let's see. Who do I got in here right now? Stay out, Evie. Stay out. Who is in this section of the barn? Anyone in here? We got Anna. There's Anna. And who's over here? Oh, we got some babies over here. These guys are 3 weeks old. And there's Mama Snow over there. Got some fresh, looks like broccoli in here and some foods. We'll go check on the ducks and chickens here quick. Hey, Faye. Hey, girl. Mwah. Hi, Faye. Hello. Let's go check on the chickens and ducks. Let's make sure they're getting along. Yes, we got the rabbits in there. Boo, 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 boo. Your headlights were on in your truck. They're good now. They're good. They just stay on when I get out of it for a while. But we're good. Okay, the chickens are all up high. They like to roost. They like to stay up high. So this is why chickens and ducks can get along well. Because the ducks like to be on the ground. And the chickens like to be up high. So the chickens, you know, they tuck in everywhere up here. I do need to seal up here. This is the Wattle Inn. This was never meant for chickens. I built this for ducks. And so the chickens can get out. They can get out through the gaps underneath there. So I do need to screen that in. I've got some screen down over here. I just got to get around to doing it. But yeah, and then the only other animal you guys haven't seen is the pigs. But the pigs are sleeping in the forest. And I don't want to go bushwhacking for them. So the cow is at the neighbor's farm and the pigs are in the forest. So that's the animals. And D-Nice. How you doing, D-Nice? How you doing? Let me catch up with the chat here for a second. We'll hang out with the goaties. James says, I just rely on YouTube tutorials. Props to you for pursuing engineering. Thank you. Yeah, I used to be a civil engineer back in the day. Now I'm just kind of a medium large scale business operator, and then yeah, doing my thing out on the homestead on the evenings, weekends. Where I live, we're in northern Canada. I live in the far north, middle of nowhere. So it's really hard to find electricians, plumbers, carpenters. So you just do everything yourself. Gunner, who is Lamar? This is not the first time the name has come up, but I don't know who it is. And Chad says, get some walking boards for them too in that new chicken coop. I will. I'll get some perches across the top. I'll go all the way across the top so that they have something nice to jump up on and perch around on. I do also plan to let the chickens free range more. They are somewhat free range during the day right now. But that's the plan, is to let them out a little more when I can kind of give them their own space. I'd like to move them out, you know, into different sections of the field and give them, you know, a little more freedom away from the other animals. Kyle says, do you raise rabbits for meat? They say it's one of the best to raise for meat. I do. So we do eat the rabbits. They're delicious. They're basically like the dark meat of a turkey, the entire thing. So it's really juicy, really good, easy to cook, easy to season. It's fantastic meat. I'm a hunter, so I hunt a lot of wild. Super gamey. It's super lean. I mean, they are just a prey animal. Everything is trying to eat them, so they're always on the run, and that keeps them super tough and super lean. Wild rabbit hares are really only good for me in pasta sauce and stewing meat. But homestead rabbits, because they're bred different, they're a different species actually. A homestead rabbit cannot breed with a wild hare. They're not the same animal. Oh boy, you good, girl? You good? And so the homestead rabbits, they're kept in captivity, although I try to give them some space with those longer free range sections. But there's Lily back there. How's it going, Lily? Anyway, the wild rabbits taste better. They're not as lean because they don't run around all life. They have no predators, and they're bred to get big fast. Guys, don't headbutt, man. Be nice. The full-size goat and the mini Nubian are kind of deciding who is the queen bee. So Faye was introduced to the homestead about 3 weeks ago. This is Faye. She's a full-size goat. So she's a full-size goat. Mimi here is the next largest goat. She is a mini Nubian. She's a Nigerian dwarf mixed with Nubian. When she was the biggest, she was the queen bee. So she kind of came through. After she was introduced to the homestead, she kind of went through the phase of headbutting everybody and showing them who's boss. And she became the queen bee. She made everyone fall in line. Now, Faye is the biggest goat on the homestead. And so she's going through the same thing, kind of teaching everyone who's boss. There's a little bit of time where Oreo over here, hey Oreo, come on. Oh, it's okay. Oreo and Mimi were duking out for queen bee, and eventually Oreo submitted. But now, currently, Oreo and Faye aren't getting along too well. So Mimi's Oreo's keeping her distance a little bit. She's not right up with everyone else because she don't like getting headbutt. It's not that fun. And Devin says, man, I would love to live in a place like that. Well, Devin, for now, you can just keep joining me, and one day you can live in a place like this. So I can teach you the ways for now, and then you can start your own bigger and better operation. Chad says, walk boards for the chickens because for where they can perch, when they jump on the ground, it's hard on them. It's hard on the hips and legs. Okay, I will keep that in mind, and we will upgrade that. This isn't their full-time home, so they will be getting moved out of there. I still got a lot to learn about chickens, so thank you for teaching me. Kyle says, do you ever think about making a chicken coop on wheels? I do have that started. We're going to go back over there before I end the stream here so I can show you that. Hey, Lily, you're trying to get out? I can hear you trying to get out. You got a ball in your mouth. Oh, boy, we're zoomed in. Hi, Lily. Here, Lil, you can come out. Oh, that's a tomato. That's not a ball. Did you steal a tomato? I think she stole one of the goat's tomatoes. Okay, this right here is the new chicken, one of two chicken coops on wheels. So I'm installing wheels on the back. These wheels are designed so that this lifts up, gets them off the ground, and that way you can stand on the other side and drag it around the yard. So I'm work in progress. I've got one there and I'm building a second one. So I'm gonna have 2 of those around the yard. Work in progress. And can I see your dog and your pets? Well, the only pet, I mean, they're all pets other than the ones I eat, but just one dog right now. I had a second dog, but she got sick. She was old, she got sick, and she passed away. What are you eating? Is it a tomato? Is it an apple? What is it? Here. It's an apple. That's an apple. You can have it. You can have it. Don't choke on it. Don't choke on it. That's too big of a bite, girl. Little bites. Little bites. Here you go. Little bites. Little bites, girl. You can have it. I'm not trying to stop you. I just don't want you to eat the whole dang thing and choke. They're like kids sometimes. And the wheeled coops work very well. Yes, and this is an extra big one, but I have a plan for it. My plan is rotate it around the yard for them. Let them use that to graze around. And then in the winter, I'm going to wheel it up to the insulated heated coop. And then it'll become their winter yard. So it's going to be fully screened in. It's going to have metal roofing and it's going to be multi-purpose. That's why I'm building it big and sturdy. Usually you wouldn't build them out of 2x4s like this. You'd build them lighter, 1x2s. But I want this to be like a full year-round yard for them as well. So I'm going heavy, going big. I got machines to drag them around. So if you got to drag them by hand, you're gonna want to go smaller and lighter. But I can drag this thing. And Carmelo Anthony got rightfully charged today. I have no idea who that is. Kate says, can we see your farm mammals? Kate, we just showed you everyone. Except the cow, who's not on the farm right now, and my pigs who are living in the forest. Gaming channel, I'm ignoring you. And Chad says, do you milk your goats? If so, do you make dairy products? Yes. One of my goats, Mimi, the mini Nubian, we milk her. And then the full-size Toggenburg Alpine, when her baby's older, we will milk her. Off of Mimi, we get about 1.5 liters to 2 liters a day. Off the full size, it'll be more like 4 to 8 liters, 1 to 2 gallons for us Americans. And so we get a lot of milk off the goats. We make yogurt and cheese and just consume the milk as is. I am loving the conversations, guys, but I think we got to end this because it's getting really dark and the mosquitoes are starting to carry me away. You probably can't see it because it's so dark, but I got about 100 mosquitoes on me right now and it's awful. So let me read one last second, see if there's any last questions. Chaotic Angel says he stabbed someone. That's no bueno. It's good that he got charged. Kyle says there's a couple YouTubers that have the wheeled coops and they use a lever to lift them up off the ground and push them around. That's where I got the idea. So that's what I'm doing as well. Building a wheeled lever system. Lift the lever up, the wheel touches the ground, you put a pin in there to hold it up, and it keeps the back end off while you rotate them. The thing with chickens is you can't just put them on wheels because that's gonna leave a gap on the bottom. And that's gonna allow snakes and weasels to get in there. One weasel will kill all of your chickens. So you gotta be very careful. And Kyle says, I'm glad I subscribed. Very interesting. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, friend. And mosquitoes are the worst. Yes, and they're everywhere. I don't think you guys can see them, but they can see me. It is awful. So I got to wish you guys a good night. I hope you guys have a good time. Thanks for everyone who returned. Peter, have a good night. Thank you for everyone who is just joining in. I appreciate all of you. And sorry, Peter, I'm just dipping out. The mosquitoes are trying to carry me away. Have a good night, everyone. I appreciate you. And